Hi, my name is Lisa Barnard. I'm a photographic artist. I'm also an educator. I run a master's program at the University of South Wales.
Lisa Barnard ist eine britische Künstlerin, die ursprünglich aus dem Bereich der dokumentarischen Fotografie kommt, in ihrer Praxis aber grundsätzlich sehr recherchebasiert und bisweilen auch experimentell arbeitet. Das heißt, ihre Projekte sind häufig groß angelegte Recherchen, die verschiedene Stränge bilden und darin komplizierte, komplexe Themen unserer Gegenwart beleuchten.
Yeah, so I'm showing a new project that I've developed over 4 years called You Only Look Once, and it's a project that explores the relationship between perception, automated vehicles, and climate change and technology, and the entanglement of those ideas. So the show itself is split into 3 rooms. The first room is what I sort of think of as a prologue. It talks about the Salton Sea in relation to climate change, technology, and this idea of the military gaze. The Salton Sea is an area quite near the Mexican border, near a place called Nyland. And it's a fascinating area. It's got a long history of sort of political activism. It was a lake that was formed by an accident that happened when a dam burst. And it's a really important place for birds as they migrate north. But it also has a complex history in relation to leisure and military training. So in the second room, we go into a sort of more of a perceptual experience. There's a 5.1 surround sound audio experience, which is playing different snippets of audio that I've created over the 3 years that I've been making the project. And there's a really interesting film of somebody called Daniel Kish, and he teaches young people how to echolocate in their environments. And next door to that video, there is a really cute picture of a bat that's been rescued because of the impact of climate change, and he's just eating on a little worm, and you can hear him chomping away, and he's super cute. And then I have a YOLO program on the ceiling that uses images to create object detection in a real-time environment. So it's utilised by, things such as automated vehicles to understand how they can see and locate themselves in an environment. And we did that at this very famous place called YOLO Bridge just outside Sacramento. And you have these huge 250,000 ribbons of bats that come out at dusk, a time with low vision. And I recorded those bats, and then we trained this YOLO program to recognise bats with about 1,000 different instances of what a bat looks like, and then it identifies the bats in the sky. And they have these yellow boxes around them, and I've used the yellow box in the 13 screen installation in the middle, which is how many cameras a Waymo robo-taxi has. And then I've used a program called Mad Mapper, which maps different images on objects. So it's one projector, but with 5 screens, and it picks up an object and then it maps a video onto that object. In this case, it's a yellow square that I've created. So the third room is a little bit more straightforward in that it's me directly working with a company called Helm AI, and they develop object detection camera programs that are used in automated electric vehicles. So I did some performance work with them in San Francisco outside the Facebook headquarters, where the car is recording me doing various performance art. And then I worked with the Center for Transportation in San Francisco, where they're actually training these electric automated vehicles using multiple assets that help determine how successfully a car is navigating through its environment. And there's also a drone footage video of the YOLO bridge. So this is where everything sort of starts connecting, this YOLO place and the YOLO program in Sacramento, which is one of the longest causeways over wetland where all of these bats come from in Northern California.
In dem Thema After Nature steckt grundsätzlich ja schon die Beobachtung drin, dass unser Verhältnis zur Natur seit jeher durch Bilder geprägt ist. Und wenn man von dieser Beobachtung einen Schritt zurücktritt, kann man ja auch grundsätzlich sagen, dass unser Verhältnis zur Welt durch zahlreiche Technologien geprägt ist. Und mit ihrem Projekt bringt Lisa Barnard diese beiden Ebenen in gewisser Art und Weise zusammen und befragt eben das große Thema der Wahrnehmung für den spezifischen historischen Moment, in dem wir uns auch gerade befinden. Das heißt, einen Moment, in dem wir konfrontiert sind mit dem Klimawandel, mit Kriegen, mit technologischen Fortschrittsversprechen, die unser Leben immer mehr beeinflussen. Und mit diesem Projekt lädt sie sozusagen dazu ein, neugierig zu bleiben und sich diesen zahlreichen Verstrickungen anzunähern, sie zu versuchen zu verstehen und zu hinterfragen.
I suppose what I'm hoping that people understand is the complexity of how various ideas that are sort of really prescient right now are entangled. You can't think about conflict without thinking about climate change. You can't think about technology without thinking about the military. And all of these systems are all part of, power struggles around capitalism. So for me, the exhibition in its entirety, I hope, presents something of that complexity without being totally terrifying and alienating, being quite fun and immersive, but really understanding that you can't think of one problem without thinking about another problem. These things don't work in isolation.